We begin with the controversy surrounding President Bola Tinubu's decision to extend by 1 year the tenure of the Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeni, whose tenure was initially scheduled to end on August 31, 2025, will now remain in office until August 2026. Now, this has led to uproar both within and outside the security services, paramilitary agencies, with many reading meanings to Tinubu's constant extension of office for some people, including the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and several heads of security and paramilitary agencies like Immigration Controller General Kemi Nana Nandap. The tenure extensions look even more suspicious, especially when they seem to come from one part of the country, according to critics, at a time when the president's appointments have been criticized as being skewed towards his southwest and, in fact, his hegemony in Lagos State. Well, to help us make sense of these issues, we have joining us right here in the studio, APC chieftain and former Commissioner for Information in Edo State, Kasim Afegbua. Thank you so much, Kasim, for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
And from our Lagos studio, we'll be joined by activist and publisher of Sahara Reporters, Sowore. All right. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen. So let's start with you, Kasim Afegbua. I mean, what have you been making of this criticism? We've seen a whole lot of people trying to say that this constant extension of the Inspector General of Police, of the CG of the Nigerian Immigration Service, and that of the Controller General of Customs now leaves a lot to be desired, especially considering that these people actually come from the southwest of the country, and the calls have been that President Tinubu seems to be leaving those who need to ascend higher in these military agencies behind. What do you have to say about that?
Well, thank you very much, Sumner. You know, there is nothing you do in this country that people won't have different opinions. Whether they have been told to leave their position, whether they are due for retirement and all of that. And issues are often, you know, assessed essentially from the ethnic binoculars, ethnic point of view, whether you like it or not. Time was when a military general who has been retired was brought in to be a sole administrator of customs services. I didn't see heads rolling. I didn't see the criticism. He spent 8 solid years on that position, and left only when Tinubu came on board. We also saw previous...
Well, I mean, there was criticism that time. Even the Senate kicked against it.
We also
a
saw,
whole lot of Nigerians...
Well, he stayed for 8 years. And all that. That was even a retired military officer. We saw the former IG Alkali. He also came on board. He was extended. Buratai's tenure was extended and all of that. I think for presidents, you know, they have their own reason for doing this extension, particularly if it falls in line with their agenda of deepening certain conversations around productivity in terms of, okay, now the Custom Controller General, they gave us 3 reasons why they were doing the extension. They are working on modernization. They are working on the AFTA treaty and implementation of same. And they want it to be in sync with what they are doing so that removing him will be like maybe the next person may not fit into that particular system. So in the next 1 year, it is hoped that he will have been able to respond, you know, to those issues. For me, I don't really see any problem, you know, extending tenure. Insofar, it is not beyond 1 year.
All right. Yeah, well, the politics of it is what people have been looking at.
Well, you see people will always read politics to everything. When you see, I've told you, Nigerian is seen from ethnic binoculars, north-south divide, at times southwest, southeast, north, and all. You will continue to have them. In as much as we are not able to balance the political algorithms of this country, the dichotomies and all of that, they will continue to rear their ugly heads.
All right.
I'm looking at a situation where somebody will say, oh, the man is not doing. If the man has been doing well, and there's a reason why the president needs to extend his tenure, he can do that. He has the power to hire and fire at any point in time. What if he tells him to go, and someone comes on board and they fire the person, then he say, come back and come and complete 1 year? What will you say?
Well,
it's just a matter of having an open mind to ensure that we're able to create opportunity to deepen conversation around positive governance, good governance.
All right, interesting perspective indeed. If they've done well, they deserve to be to have their tenures extended. I mean, that's your view. And I'll come to you, Sowore. What do you make of all this extension? Because I mean, there's been an uproar with some people within the system, these paramilitary agencies like the immigration, the police, and now customs, saying that, look, it doesn't give room for elevation of those who have been there. I mean, there can't be only one good man. Others had to leave before these people were promoted. What do you make of all of that?
Well, there's a reason why someone who has attained the age of 60 in service in a military or paramilitary organization or the civil service in general is asked to leave and create opportunities for others. The argument which my friend put up there that somebody was doing well and the reasons they adduced for extending that of custom is not tenable, considering that even as director of customs or the CG of customs, he was not the only person doing the job of customs. Custom has quite a number of people who are working in that agency. It is an indictment on whomever is running Nigeria that you can't find someone else other than the person who ought to have retired, who is tired. That's the reason why they retire people, to keep them in office. And then you stymie not just the growth of the organization, you stymie motivation, you stymie loyalty. And you generally just kind of discourage people who are working very hard or working towards a better commitment to that service. That's the same thing they did with the Nigerian police force. And you cannot claim today that Nigerian police force has been led in a better direction. If someone else had been put there, you put someone there for another 4 years, the man is overseeing some of the worst policing in the country. People are getting killed around the country. Even the president had to call him out at a town hall meeting, I think in Benue, asking him if he has done anything about or tried to do anything about or prevent the killings. Even though some of these things are choreographed, you can tell that this is not about competence, it's about cronyism. And there's also an argument to be made that a president that is only interested in choosing people from his own region is not running an inclusive government. It shows that he can't trust anybody other than a person that has a Yoruba name, which is very, very sad. That all these guys, you have the head of military, you have customs, you have police, you have immigration, all of them are Yorubas. That doesn't speak well of a country that's diverse as Nigeria. But we understand that it is all about cronyism. Anytime you see them extend the tenure of somebody, he's doing something for them that suits their own personal agenda. You can imagine the same thing wasn't extended to the guy in the fire service. I guess they don't have anything to benefit from the fire service. So, but you know, when it comes to this sensitive organization, police, customs, and those very juicy places, they don't play.
All right, but Sowore, let's take a look at Bashir Adewale Adeniyi. I mean, he's got this very good CV that a lot of people have been saying, and he was recently elected to chair the World Customs Organization. And don't you think that President Tinubu could have been looking at it from that perspective, that look, removing this person by this time when he's chairing the World Customs body could actually affect Nigeria's image, and that, of course, this modernization project that is ongoing in the customs, that he looks pretty fit to be able to help drive this idea ahead of next year?
The World Customs Organization is an NGO, and he's representing Nigeria there. Is not in his private capacity as Adewale. So if tomorrow you appoint a new custom guy, he will just sit on the seat. He's representing Nigeria, and these are not important positions. These are nominal positions. These are not positions that affect Nigeria in any way. It doesn't have any value. And the issue of modernization of customs if you want to modernize the custom, you cannot look for a guy who has been in custom for how many years, who has never modernized it. So are you telling me that in the next 1 year, custom is going to become AI powered by a guy who has been in custom for 35 years and didn't modernize it? He was never known until now. In fact, the only thing I know this guy about is hounding a journalist who was exposing corruption at the borders, smuggling. That's what he's known for, if you ask many Nigerians.
Well, Sowore, he's been a spokesperson of the Nigeria Customs Service. I mean, a whole lot of people know him. I mean, you wouldn't say that you don't know him yourself. And I'm saying...
being a spokesperson of Nigerian Customs doesn't make you competent Customs CG. Just like my friend here, he was Babangida's spokesperson for many years.
Would
you appoint him as the president of Nigeria?
Will you not be unfair?
I'm talking about Afegbua, you know.
Will you not be unfair to say that Adeni is unknown? I mean, Kasim Afegbua, you want to chip in?
No, you see, well, talking very seriously.
Not spokesperson.
Adeni is a professional colleague. He's a fellow of the Nigeria Institute of Public Relations. I'm a member. And from his trajectory, he has put up very robust performance, engagement, to the point that even Nigerian Customs are posting different figures now, very encouraging figures in terms of revenue. They have overshot their benchmark. And just to quickly tell Sowore that the last time I checked appointments, northwest zone of the country has a higher number of appointees than the southwest. It doesn't mean that you may decide
but what people have been saying is that the weight of the appointees from the south, specifically southwest, actually
let me
goes much more higher.
You see, it is because of our corruptive mind that we see one appointment as weighty and the other one. Every organization, including the cleaner of that organization, plays a very important role in ensuring that that organization's goals and objectives are met. It is the same thing with Nigeria. Once appointments are given, you are expected to perform optimally to ensure that you deliver on the responsibility vested in you. You see, the point is, I saw the distribution, the graphic distribution recently of appointments. Northwest, by way of a manner of population, has the highest number of appointees, followed by Southwest, followed by North Central, followed by Northeast, then South-South, and Southeast. That's the pattern of distribution. I don't want to hear somebody tell me this one is weighty, this one is not weighty.
And the juicy ones.
They are those juicy. Those are corruptive tendencies when people want to raise up sentiment. You see, just to make the point, with what Sowore is talking. Sowore has also extended his tenure from being chairman of his party since creation up to today. They have not done convention to change that. He's the presidential candidate every time, and is the chairman of the party all the time. So,
I think Sowore, you would want to react. You want to react to this. I mean,
yeah, Afegbua is somebody. Afegbua is somebody I know very well. I knew him from our university. Shortly after university, so he's not a serious person on matters like this. So he knows I don't take him serious. Our party was created in 2018. By 2019, the party had been hijacked. We got the party back by 2022, 2 months before, by court order. So the tenure of the ESCO that started the party doesn't expire until August this year, and we're heading for a convention. But he doesn't care about these things. He just that's why I say I don't take him serious on those matters. But we're talking about serious national issues now.
Is it 8 years?
No, he's not 8 years. No, he's not 8 years tenure. I just explained to you. This is why I tell you, look very tired today. Maybe you are not assimilating very well. The party was created August 2018. Are you? It was established August 18. By 2019, it had been hijacked. Yeah, so.
He's saying that you've been that is similar. I mean, shouldn't you be giving way for someone else? I mean, since it's all within
2019, it was a candidate for 2023.
No, is the party decides its presidential candidate, not Afegbua. Are you getting my point?
So
all right, guys, let's come back,
Except,
gentlemen, to the issues at hand. I mean, we've seen these issues of extension brewing, especially that of the Inspector General of Police. And Sowore, I want to talk about the IGP. I mean, it looks like you have a personal issue with him. What exactly does it have to do? Are there personal issues, or you're actually out for the interest of the country? Because a lot of people started complaining about that extension. But when you bring the Police Act that was amended and what the Senate did, some people will say it looks like Egbetekun is justified, I mean, based on the position of the National Assembly to continue to be in power. Although some people within the police force seem to be, you know, saying, though they can't come out, that indeed it's actually painful for Egbetekun to still remain in that position.
You see, what the uniform that they put on lapse at, you know, when they reach the age of 60, or they've served for 35 years. So Egbetokun's tenure as a policeman expired in around August of 2024, September. Everybody knows that. His tenure extension has nothing to do with that. His tenure was illegally extended. The person who claimed, and I want to remind you of this, the member of the House of Representatives who claimed he was the one who made the law has not spoken after we told him that no law permits a person who is not a policeman to remain IG of police. So if you want to change the law, change it completely. And that means that anybody who is a Nigerian can become the IGP of police, just like you have in the FCC. Buhari tried it with customs. But when it comes to police, you have to be in uniform to be IGP of police. So they understand what they are doing. That is why they have not been able to defend. They keep defending it every year, because even the Attorney General of the Federation in 2024 said, we expect this man to retire. And after he was supposed to have retired and his tenure was extended illegally, they couldn't defend it. They haven't been able to defend it today. They haven't been able to defend it yesterday. As to whether I have personal issues with him, I don't have personal issues, but I have a problem with anybody in Nigeria who perpetrates illegality, regardless of who you are. Whether you are a military general, or you are Inspector General of Police, or you are a constable, if you are engaging in illegal activities just because you think you have the power to do it, or because you have the impunity of the state behind you, it will seem personal, because it will not stop until that is. And this applies also to the lady in immigration. She also ought to have retired. So extending the tenure of these guys is just perpetrating illegality, apart from the fact that you kill the morale of the younger officers who are supposed to be aspiring to become the best and get to the top. That is how it is done all over the world. You do not just use a fear because you are president to go and appoint somebody who is not supposed to be in charge of. Even Boy Scouts don't give the leadership of the Boy Scout to a person who has never been in the Boy Scout. It's always the oldest person in the Boy Scout that is the leader of the Boy Scout. So these are not just military organizations, these are sensitive security organizations in the country that ought to protect life and property. We can't play politics with these positions, because it affects us directly. And you know what Nigeria is in terms of security right now because of these tired individuals who are parading themselves in corridors.
Well, you are saying tired individuals, and I'm bringing Kassim Afegbua back. The president says he has confidence in these people, and that's why he's extending their tenures. And one thing that he's saying is that he will give them time to improve on the technology issues that they've been bringing into play. I mean, look at immigration, for example. There have been some work that have been ongoing with the Minister of Interior and all of that, and Kemi Nanandap are working towards that. But Sowore has raised an issue here. Is 1 year extension enough for them to be able to encapsulate all of this and make sure that these services, whether immigration or customs, are left better than they met them?
Well, the problem with people like Sowore is the fact that he hasn't been in government. He doesn't know how government works. And so when he sees openings such as this, he will naturally go on the street to protest so that his relevance could be, noticeable and visible. But beyond that, the president who is sitting on that seat called president, and to a large extent, he knows exactly the kind of people he needs to achieve certain objectives, short-term, long-term, or medium-term, kind of. So when you come out and begin to say something is illegal, only a court of competent jurisdiction can declare anything illegal. So what I expect someone like him, who is a freedom fighter, if there are no abuses, freedom fighters will be out of job. If there are no observable. If there's freedom all over the world, for example, freedom fighters...
You cannot always have freedom.
So freedom fighters will be out of job. So the point I'm making is that
Afegbua.
the president exactly knows what he wants, or where he's taking the people, not where the people are taking him. President all over the world speak on behalf of the people, they act on behalf of the people.
But Sowore says this may be linked to cronyism, that there's a growing level of cronyism under the Tinubu administration, and it's targeted at uplifting those who are from one region. And this is what a lot of people have been saying. Isn't this going to be affecting the political capital of President Tinubu?
No,
ahead of the 2027 elections?
There is no scientific basis, there's no empirical basis on his assertion of cronyism, because I've just told you that the Northwest Zone carries the highest mark when it comes to those who have been appointed under the Tinubu administration. And judging by the population of voters, population of people in Nigeria, after the Northwest Zone, the Southwest follows. So then North Central before you talk about Northeast and South-South. So the point I'm making is that it is convenient for him to make his assertions, to make his condemnation, to make pronouncement and all that, but he's not the president. The president. But
are you not worried that all these extensions are coming for people who come from one region? I mean, from the Southwest, and they're coming from one particular tribe within a multipolar country like Nigeria.
No, if it is viewed that way, it is not an accident of history that they were also from the same geopolitical zone when they became Controller General. So he didn't appoint Adeni from the blues. He appointed on the basis of hierarchy. So it wasn't an accident of history. The same thing, the immigration woman, the same thing with the Inspector General of Police. So it wasn't his making. These are things he came to meet and all of that. So now you are saying they should have gone based on this thing. If you want to challenge such things, you take it to court of competent jurisdiction. Let the court act on it based on the laws.
So where lies the issue of political balancing? I mean, under former President Buhari, who's now late, I mean, there were these calls, especially from the South, that most of the appointments by Buhari in the military, paramilitary, were all skewed towards the North. I mean, so is it a turn of the South to actually reply? I mean, when we have a Southern president, do we have this happening?
When you say skewed, if it is skewed and a particular zone is higher than Southwest, that is not skewed. You see, you can only say skewed if there is a preponderance of appointments from Southwest zone beyond the normative order of other zones. But if you say skewed on the basis of the fact that this person has been extended, I'll say no. At any rate, 1 year from now, President Tinubu will still be president, and the Custom Controller General will leave the position. Another person will be appointed to that office or will take over that office. The same thing with other positions, the immigration woman and all of that. The president who sits on that particular exalted office tells you, as an ordinary citizen who don't have access to security information, you don't have access to any other information aside from the one you can scoop from the street when you are doing your protest. He's telling you that head of this person will help me to complete A, B, C, D that has been outlined in this effort, and this is what we want to see Custom do. And Custom has been generating more revenue than before. Let them bring it to a conclusive end so that at the end of the day, at least they will have achieved a particular objective. 1 year from now is not too much a thing. August next year, the president will still be president whether you like it or not.
All right.
And so he's still going to be president till 2027. Then his mandate will also be renewed to 2031. So I hope Sowore will not say that his party has been hijacked again, because he's still going to be the candidate, presidential candidate of his party.
I mean, that's
it's a perennial.
Well, Sowore, as we try to round off this conversation, where does the issue of presidential discretion actually lie within this context? Because the presidential powers are there, the president has the power to do it. Do you sense any form of abuse? Could there be anything better? How can the National Assembly help to curtail if there are any abuses of such powers in the future?
Well, we're not running a monarchy. So this idea that because the president is president of a country, he can't be challenged is the worst form of presentation I've ever seen anyone who believes or who claim that we are in a democracy say, and that a court of law is the only place where you can resolve such an issue is absolutely hubris. But, you know, like I said when you first brought Afegbua on this show, Afegbua himself is tired. He needs to retire from repeating the same nonsense every year on this shows. This is what they do. This is how they make a living. But, you know,
all he said as nonsense.
You
need to watch your words.
If you retire from being a perennial candidate, I will also retire.
What I can tell you is that there's no way I'm hiring you to be my spokesperson, because you won't fit into the ideas that can take this country to the next level. But
I'm a realist. I don't do all daydreaming. You are daydreaming.
What is the meaning of realism going by what you do? You know, one day you are in Delta States, the next day you are
a perennial candidate.
All
right, gentlemen. Sowore, just go straight to the issue.
Yes. I hope the conversations that we need to have is about how to make the country work. This country is broken. Everybody understand that. He presented the president as someone who's seen a security report. Does this country look like a country governed by people who are reading security reports? It shows to you that they don't understand how to govern a country. And what we keep saying is that we must get to a point where people who are competent are governing a country of 200 and something million people. What we have now is just people doing try and error. It's try and error to put somebody in charge of digital development of customs when he has a year to go. Nobody does that. It's try and error to ask a IG of police to keep running a country where there's no security, where the police is done. I had to go and fight on behalf of policemen last week. And it wasn't until the fact that about 30,000 policemen were promoted. So does it show to you that the IG knows what it's doing? You need people who know what they are doing to be in very sensitive positions. But also, you must manage the diversity of your country by ensuring that you do not overload the leadership of the country or very sensitive position with people from your region. That's not how to manage diversity. And he knows. We condemned it under Buhari, so we are not going to tolerate it under Tinubu, and they know this. So that's why you see all these arguments about, the president is seeing security reports. Where does he see security reports? If he did, he probably doesn't know anything about security, and because of all this, being a president,
there's no how he wouldn't be having access to security. But gentlemen, just before I let you go, I want to put it on record in terms of political appointments and general appointments. We've seen the summary according to the presidential media teams that the Northwest has 36, followed by the Southwest having 29, North Central having 25, Northeast having 24, South having 22, and Southeast having 16. Kasim Afegbua, just very briefly before I let you go, do you think this has been fair and President Tinubu shouldn't be overtly criticized by Nigerians? Do you think that the distribution of these appointments have been fair in terms of weight and, of course, what Nigerian politicians call juicy?
It's been fair because I don't know the criteria for considering a particular position weighty or juicy and all of that. Those are corruptive tendencies of people who want to... Any position you are given and all that, you have to ensure that you perform optimally and ensure and help the president to realize his objectives and what have you. Like Sowore, who is looking to become president of Nigeria, I won't be a perennial candidate. I will have to look at the optics, whether it favors me or not and all of that. That's part of what I was saying. It is not just to be answering presidential candidate every now and then you are the chairman of your party, you are the presidential candidate at every time. You say they hijack it, and you are sitting down, they were hijacking it. What were you doing? So the point is that if you don't have the capacity to manage a party, you can't just be coming and condemn everything every time. So
all right. Well, we'll just do hope that the appointments will continue to go around and maybe even get to you yourself, Kasim Afegbua.
I don't have to be in government for me to make my voice heard.
Well, your last shot, Sowore, on this matter, just before I let you go.
My last shot is that I hope there's something for Kasim Afegbua. He needs a better job. within the government.
You don't have job too now, so I'm also praying for you.
I mean, all of you are Nigerians. There's no reason why President Tinubu cannot even call on you, Sowore, to get into government. I mean, federal government belongs to everybody, all of us. We're entitled.
You have a person who badly needs a job. He's the one who needs a job.
Well, both of you do need jobs, right?
I have my office in Wuse too, Agada Street. So
Sowore is actually angling for Nigerians to give him a job too. So
you are looking for a job.
The same thing with Afegbua. I think you wanted to be the governor of Edo State at some point.
Yes.
So I mean, these are all jobs you're seeking from the public.
I don't need a job. I don't need a job, scraping the bottom of the barrel. No.
All right. Yeah. We must thank you so much, Sowore. Omoyele Sowore is the publisher of Sahara Reporters and is an activist and has been the former presidential candidate of the African Democratic. I'm beginning to say African Democratic Congress.
Because his party is largely unknown. So.
Not really unknown. Not really unknown. I mean, he's been a presidential candidate over the years.
I don't know the party. Do you know the party? Do you know the party? What is the name
of course, definitely we do know.
It's African Action Congress.
Yes,
AAC, yes.
I mean, it was. I was skipping that. All right, and of course, we've also had Kazim Afegbua, who's also been. So you've also been a perennial governorship aspirant.
No, I only contested once. Once.
Okay. Well, we must thank you so much, gentlemen, for this insight. Very important perspectives you provided to Nigerians as to how to be fair in terms of the distribution of political office. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.